is Miss Cindy. I am from the Public Library of Youngstown and Mahoning County. Today I'm going to be reading from the Dark 30, Southern Tales of the Supernatural by Patricia McKissick. The Chicken Coop Monster. The year I turned 9, my parents' 10-year marriage ended in divorce. The grown-ups never talked about it around me, but I knew what was going on. Mama and Daddy didn't love each other anymore. So where'd that leave me? As soon as school was out, they shipped me off to the Tennessee boonies to stay with my grandparents, Frankie and James Leon Russell. I didn't want to go, but no one was listening to me. A monster lived there. I knew it the minute I set foot on their farm. I was the president of the St. Louis chapter of the Monster Watchers of America, and I was an expert on spotting monsters. It lived in the chicken coop. The tingling in the back of my neck was strongest when I passed by there. Its hot, mean eyes watched me as I played on the back porch. Sometimes I chased my ball too close and smelled its foul breath. This wasn't an ordinary in-the-closet fright or an under-the-bed scare. I'd come upon something really terrible. I needed help with this one, so I wrote to my friend Jay, who was in charge of the MWA over the summer. Jay and I had been best buddies since we started the MWA the year before. By enclosing 50 cents and 6 box tops from Crinkle cereal, we'd sent away for and received an official MWA Club starter kit, complete with 6 badges, 6 glow-in-the-dark ID cards, and a manual containing 10 monster rolls and everything else we needed to know about creepy stuff. We'd invited Nora, Jeff, Letitia, and Alondro to join us. Writing to Jay made me feel better. Meanwhile, I had to be careful not to break any monster rules because that would make the thing stronger and bolder. One evening, Ma Frankie called me to the kitchen. "Missy, I forgot to throw the latch on the chicken coop. Go lock it for me, please." The sun had set, but there was little light left in the sky. The backyard was already engulfed by a blanket of darkness, but I could see the silhouette of the old chicken shack against the sky. I stood on the back porch, a statue of fear. This is what the monster had been waiting for. I heard the whisper of its tail swishing in the straw. "Melissa!" My own name startled me. "Why haven't you done what I asked you to do?" Ma Frankie's voice quavered with impatience. She was asking me to break Monster Rule 5. Get in the house before dark and don't go out by yourself. "There's a monster in your chicken coop," I blurted out, "so I'm not going in there." Of course, Ma Frankie had other ideas. "Girl, if you don't stop this foolishness," she gave me a little push. "Go on now. Go close the door, or someone will get into the chicken coop and scare my setting hens." Her hens? What about me? "I hate to tell you this, Ma Frankie, but something's in the chicken coop already. That's why I'm not going out there." "Yes, you are, this very minute." Obviously, this monster had 4th level power because it had put a spell on Ma Frankie. Why else would she fall for the oldest trick in the book? Monsters make helpers out of unsuspecting victims. "But," I started to say. No buts. And the next thing I knew, my own grandmother had me by the hand and was pulling me towards the chicken coop. "I wanted to show you there's nothing out here." I looked into her eyes. "No! Don't you see? It's made you a helper." I jerked away from Ma Frankie and ran into the house, even though I was breaking monster rule number 3. Never let a monster see you crying. I couldn't stop the tears. Then I felt big, strong hands wiping my face with a cool washcloth. "Oh, sweets," Daddy James whispered softly. "There's nothing round here to fear." His eyes smiled. The monster spell hadn't gotten to him. "No need to fret. I closed the door for you." Dark thoughts flee in the morning light, but the old wooden coop was surrounded by permanent shadows, a sure sign that it was occupied by a hateful thing. I had to be very careful. It would do anything to lure me into its evil hole. "Bring me my clothespins off the porch," Ma Frankie called. Just as I passed the coop, the door creaked open slowly. Sunlight pushed away the darkness just long enough for me to see something large and shapeless. But the monster leaped back into the shadows before I got a really good look at it. I must have screamed because Ma Frankie came running. "What is it? What is it?" I saw the monster. It pushed open the door. Ma Frankie said nothing but walked purposefully into the coop. I couldn't look, as she disappeared behind the darkness. I never expected to see her again, but within a few seconds she came out holding a tiny little chick. She gently transferred it from her hands to mine. "But that isn't the monster." "I know. There isn't one, period." Poor Ma Frankie. She really believed that, I'm sure. "Wouldn't you come in and look around?" she asked. "Come see where the chickens set on their eggs and hatch the little chicks like this one." It was another monster trick, and I wasn't going for it. "No, I'll never go inside." Ma Frankie sighed and shook her head. "Whenever you're ready," she said, and went back to hanging out her wash. My back was turned, but I could feel the creature laughing at me. During the week, separate letters came from Mama and Daddy. I wrote them back right away. Mama's went to our old house, Daddy's to a new address. Mama wanted to know all about my new friends. Daddy was happy I could swim in deep water and had caught a fish. But I still hadn't heard from Jay, so I wrote to him again. First, I told him about my new pet chick, Tissy, and how she followed me everywhere, answering my voice and eating the feed I threw out to her. Then I told him about the creature. I feel it's stronger now because I've broken a couple of monster rules. It's a tricky one, but I'm watching out for myself. Right soon, Missy. Following Rule 9, I didn't go near the thing's lair. In fact, I didn't even play in the backyard. But late one afternoon, I missed Tissy. I felt she was in danger. Sure enough, the chick was out back, heading straight for the coop, and the door was open. Tissy belonged to me. The monster knew it. Monster Rule 6 clearly stated, "Watch out for those you love. If monsters can't get you, they will get the ones closest to you." If little Tissy went inside, she was a goner. I had to do something, and fast. "Here, bitty, 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 bitty." I imitated Ma Frankie calling her hens. Tissy heard my voice and stopped. That was the split second I needed. Dashing forward, I scooped up my little chick and swerved to keep her from plunging headlong into the monster's den. No tears this time. I was mad, so I foolishly broke Rule 10. Never let the monster see you angry. "Hey, chicken neck, you're a real creep. Why pick on a little itty-bitty innocent chick? Mess with someone your own size." Like who did I have in mind? How dumb could I get? My anger had made the monster swell with fresh power. If I kept breaking rules like that, the creepy thing was going to get me for sure. At last the letter came from Jay, July 18th, 1960. "Dear Missy, Never got your first letter. The monster must have eaten it. Beware. The MWA met today. I read your letter to them. We all agreed you're okay as long as you don't break Rule 1. Don't face a monster alone. The MWA went to see Werewolf Returns 5 times. We're going again today. We miss you. Come home soon. Your friend Jay. P.S. Are you going to bring Tissy with you? Hearing from Jay and my friends helped ease my mind a little. The MWA was right. Nothing could happen to me unless I made the number 1 mistake, so I stayed on my guard, ready for any tricks. That evening, the 6 Harper kids came down to play hide and seek. May Elizabeth, who was my age but 3 times my size, smelled like lilac talcum powder all the time. She had a likable way about her that made me feel comfortable. During the summer, we had become almost friends. Come be my partner and hide with me, I said. May Elizabeth pulled me along beside her. I suggested we hide behind the shrubs along the front porch. Come on, she said, let's hide in the chicken coop. I jerked away. No, don't! Why? It's the perfect place to hide. Suddenly, my almost friend rushed towards that dreaded spot. I could feel the monster's excitement. My warnings didn't stop May Elizabeth from going inside. When she disappeared into the darkness, I started screaming. At the same time, May Elizabeth let go a blood-curdling cry. I knew without a doubt my friend had been devoured. Daddy James, moving like a man half his age, reached the backyard first. Ma Frankie puffed along behind him, fussing, "We're too old to be going through this, James." May Elizabeth staggered forward, terror and pain twisting her face. She was holding her arm, blood oozed from a deep gash and trickled down her hand. Well, the monster hadn't swallowed May Elizabeth, but he'd taken a good-sized bite out of her arm. Actually, I felt relieved. Now everyone would know that I'd been right all along. Ma Frankie scooted me off to the house to get the first aid kit. "Seems like this nail scratched you," she was saying when I got back. And Daddy James looked and nodded his agreement. A nail? Oh no, they couldn't be faked out by that old monster trick. No nail had attacked May Elizabeth. I moved in close to get a good look at the wound. "It was the monster!" I shouted. "I bet he did this with sharp claws. Tell them, May Elizabeth, tell them!" May Elizabeth's eyes opened wide. "Huh? Oh, yes, I saw it. It got me." The monster was hiding deep in the shadows, but I felt it stir. Oh no, I thought. I was breaking Monster Rule 7. Never lie about seeing a monster. I hadn't lied, but I'd made my friend lie. "Stop, May Elizabeth. You didn't really see anything, did you?" said Daddy James. The girl shook her head. "And neither did you, Missy," Ma Frankie put in. "Tell me the truth. Have you ever really seen anything in that coop?" "No," I answered, but hurried on to add, "That's how they fool you." "Hush, hush this minute," Ma Frankie said sturdily. "There's nothing in that old coop to hurt anybody." "Oh yeah?" I sassed back. "Well, what's that running down May Elizabeth's arm? Tomato juice?" Daddy James pulled me behind him. "Don't speak to your grandmama that way," he said in a stern voice. I'm sorry for sassing Ma Frankie, and I really was sorry. Lies, sassing, none of this was me. That thing in the coop had made my summer miserable. I wanted to hate it, but that would break Rule 8. The Harper children stared in wide-eyed amazement while Ma Frankie bandaged May Elizabeth's arm. Then Daddy James and I walked them home. "It's a water moon," he said on the way back, pointing out how hazy the full moon looked. "It'll rain 'fore morning." Most of the time, Daddy James was right about things like that. He had his own way of understanding the world, and he taught me how to see things differently, too. For a while we walked in silence. "Missy," he said, at last, "tell me about the monster in your grandmama's chicken coop." What? Was my very own grandfather a believer? I tested him. Ma Frankie doesn't think it exists. I know, but monsters are sneaky like that, he said. They want people not to believe in them. How lucky could a kid get? My grandfather knew about monster tricks. He listened while I talked about Jay, the MWA, and all 10 monster rules. I never really seen the thing in the coop, but I can feel it. And once this summer I saw it in shadow. It was big. Since it lives in a chicken coop, I bet it looks a lot like a big chicken. Makes sense. I imagine it's got 2 big yellow eyes that glow in the dark, razor-sharp scales, and 3 finger-clawed hands and claw feet. It stinks like a sewer. That sounds like a pretty powerful monster, he said, chuckling softly. It was a long, long time ago, but a monster like that lived in the crawl space under my house. Really? The thing had me so scared I couldn't even play in my own yard. Then one night, I decided to face my monster. You broke Monster Rule 1? Daddy James laughed. Is that the rule that says you shouldn't face a monster alone? I nodded. He went on, "Spec I did. But to keep that old slinky slimy thing from beating me down, I had to take it on face to face." Was it ugly? It was all the way ugly. Was it mean? Ooh-wee! It was mean like a snake. But I found courage that night long ago. Tell me what happened. I called that monster out, and when it came, I stood flat-footed and looked at it straight in the face. Weren't you scared? At first, but as I held my ground, I got stronger and it got weaker. Then I said, "I'm not afraid of you. Now get gone." Next thing I knew, it had run off hollering. Did it ever come back? Oh, every now and then one tries to scare me, but that monster long ago must have told all of its friends that I wasn't easy to scare, 'cause I ain't been bothered too much down through the years. Till now, that is. I was so excited. Daddy James was a monster fighter. Good. Then will you chase that creepy thing in the chicken coop away? I could, but it ain't troubling me. If I run it off, it'll just come back and devil you some other way. To be rid of it forever, you must call it out and face it by yourself. You mean break Monster Rules 1 and 2? That'd be like facing Dracula in his castle at night all by myself. I wouldn't have a chance. You can do it. You're my granddaughter, and that makes you very special. The short walk home had taken over an hour. Ma Frankie had homemade peach ice cream waiting. I didn't feel much like eating, knowing what was before me. Mustering my courage, I hugged Ma Frankie and Daddy James, just in case I didn't get back. There is no fear in love, he whispered. Breaking every rule in the monster manual and trusting my grandfather completely, I went to face the creature within. You chicken creep! Come out and face me! Heat lightning zippered across the sky. Thunder grumbled in the distance. Slowly, the coop door creaked open. The monster's foul odor sprang at me from its dark hole. The wind picked up, sending wind eddies scampering into the dust. All at once, a scratchy moan, followed by an awful commotion, chilled me to the bone. The thing was at the door. I waited breathlessly, not knowing what to expect. Running crossed my mind, but Daddy James' word helped me stand firm, and I did. What a surprise to see Ma Frankie's rooster flap and flutter out of the dark hole with one of his feet stuck in a tin can. "Another trick," I said boldly. "You can't distract me." The wind whipped and churned the trees. The thing's anger roared out of the dark gaping hole. It wanted to get me. Why wouldn't it come? Suddenly I realized it couldn't. I was getting stronger and it was getting weaker. Armed with the powerful weapon my grandfather had given me, I yelled over the whistling wind, "I'm not afraid of you. You're just a lot of hot, stinky air." I heard scurrying about inside the darkness. I waited and waited, hardly noticing that it had started to rain. Then, calling upon the growing courage within me, I turned my back on the monster, saying with confidence, "I am the oldest granddaughter of James Leon Russell. He loves me, and I know it." And that's when I knew that my monster was gone.